And we are back, Lowco fight fans, wrestling fans, combat sports fans. We're back for a new season of the Lowco grind. Justin Jarrett joined with you right now, joined right now by Coach Rutherford from Battery Creek. One of our regular co-hosts, George Dixon, was not available tonight, but we do have a few things to chat about, and Coach Rutherford available to be my wingman. We got Coach Gearhart, formerly of McCracken, now a Hardyville Hurricane alongside me. We're coming up in Hardyville that we're going to talk with for a little bit before he gets back to his grad school studies. But Coach, I was just chatting with you over text the last couple of days, and we're always staying in touch about wrestling news and everything. And man, the wrestling coaches have been gearing up for this for quite some time. And, some of you have to wait a little longer to get your football players back now because of the season being pushed back a week and all that stuff. But you get to hit the mats tomorrow, and it's an exciting time of year. And I know you're as excited as I am to get back out there. How's it going, man? How's your off season been?
It's been exciting, man. I mean, it's like Christmas morning right now. I don't know if I'm going to sleep much tonight. It's football's been doing good. Battery Creek football's been doing better this year, which is always a plus and minus when it comes to wrestling. Like you said, we're going to have some of those guys later in the year, but man, we're excited. We're young. We're scrappy, and I just can't wait to hit the mat and see what we got. So it'll be fun. And I know with y'all starting up a program over there, that's going to be huge for the sport. And anytime you get a new team like that, I mean, it has to make everybody better.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we're really excited to kind of back up a little bit in case people don't know what we're talking about. I took a job starting the school year at Hardyville High School, teaching media tech, teaching kids how to do what I do, creating media content and stuff like that. And Coach Rayleigh, my principal. Just lost my headset there. I knew Coach Rayleigh coach before I knew him as a principal, so I still call him Coach Rayleigh. But he said, "Hey, we need a wrestling coach. You want to coach wrestling?" I said, "Man, I can't. Not this year. I got to help over at McCracken. My son's still over there another year. I need to help out over there. But I got a guy. He needs a full-time job. He's coming out of the military and sold old gear on it, and he loves the idea." We got him in there. Coach Rayleigh went and found us some green wrestling mats. We're green and orange. You found green wrestling mats in Indiana for $1,000, which is unreal, unheard of. The old three-piece mat for $1,000. Went and loaded it up in the trailer and brought it home, and we got a wrestling squad. So I'll be helping out over at McCracken again. Brought on Jerry Robinson. He is a young guy, wrestled at Hilton Head and Beaufort, and then went on to Missouri Valley. Got a good pedigree in the sport, and reached out to me looking for opportunities. I put him in touch with the folks at McCracken, and I'm going to be his assistant this year. So excited to help him get his start and give Gearhart his first varsity wrestling gig. And then I heard that Patrick Henry has mats on the way too, that we're going to have another SKISA program out there in Hampton County.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, you got to look at with girls blowing up. I mean, it's kind of the thing now. If you don't have a wrestling team, then what are you doing? Which is it's great to have, and it's exciting. That SKISA that's blowing up like crazy. Last couple of years. I mean, with John Paul II taking it all the way to the semis. I mean, they're going to be tough. It's exciting to see that area kind of grow.
Do you have a sec to put on the attic?
No, I'm on a live show right now. But getting requests for honeydews over here. But no, the show tonight is brought to you by Reverence Wrestling Club, our official wrestling sponsor here at Lowco Sports and presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. If you want to take your skills on the mat to the next level this year, go over to Reverence. They got classes every night. I think there's at least like three days of the week that'll work out whatever age group you are, skill level you are. So there's opportunities to get that mat time and take your skills to the next level at Reverence Wrestling Club. And they're going to present our guest tonight. We've been talking about him. Let's get him in here. We got Coach G, Gear Babes. What's up, baby?
How's it going?
What's going on, man? Welcome back to the grind. See you wearing that big H tonight, and we were just talking about it. You and I met last year, first match of the season. My son was wrestling. I was screaming from the stands, And then I walked over after his match and said, "Can I stand over here and yell with you?" And you said, "I've been waiting for you." So we were fast friends. We've been friends ever since, and really excited to be working with you again, day to day now at Hardyville, and seeing you build this program. But what's it feel like to be on the cusp of starting your first season as a varsity head coach? I mean, last year you were getting into this in middle school and kind of getting your feet wet, and now you get to jump to varsity and get to start with a fresh slate where there's really not any expectations, so to speak. I think our expectations are pretty high within the building, but outside the building, there's not too much expectations this first year, but I know you have high expectations.
Yeah, always. But I'm just excited for the opportunity. Like you said, I just came back to wrestling after like 10 years. I haven't coached in 10 years, and I got to McCracken. I was able to coach that year, get back into it, and it was awesome. And I loved it. And, I wish I could have stayed, but this opportunity came up. And just talking to Rayleigh, and the amount of effort and dedication he puts into things is unreal. And you know that. The principal driving up to Indiana to get the mats, like the principal, like, come on. So that just made me really excited, and how dedicated he is to do something like that. I don't know. I'm just really grateful for the opportunity, and not only the coach, but like I've talked to you about, I've always wanted to be a teacher too. So him giving me the opportunity to teach 6th grade science of all things was awesome too. So
yeah, how's that going?
Well, first
you got to try our fire this week.
First week down, it was fun. It's something different every single day, so I love that. But I really love it. I'm just
you got out of coaching middle schoolers, but you still now you got to deal with them all day long. Yeah. Oh man! But
you're living all the coaches' dreams. I mean, everyone's dream is to start a program, and you are literally starting it from the mat up, which is even crazier. That you literally got a mat weeks ago and practices tomorrow. I mean, that's almost a dream,
Yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't, without Justin and Mr. Rayleigh, Coach Rayleigh, none of this would definitely be happening, just because I just got in the door. So it's really just been them two right now, building it, and I can't wait to get in there and continue to build it up and see what we can do this year. I know it's the first year. I know expectations are low, maybe outside the doors, like Justin was saying, but I really want to get it going, get the ball rolling, and go hard. So,
Yeah, and I mean, we're in 1A, and it sounds like, from the sound of things, you never know till people get numbers up, but it sounds like we might be the 12th in 1A, which would mean a separate state championship. So that would be
wild. That would be epic. What a year, right?
Yeah, we would be the heroes to everyone, whether we want it or not. Just making it happen, we'd be the heroes. But I mean, I think we'll have the numbers to field a team, no question. We've been recruiting hard. We got a lot of kids who are interested. Well that all of them who are interested or who even come out are not going to stick it out. It's too hard for most people. But if we can keep half of them, then that'll be awesome. If we can keep more than that, that'll be fantastic. And I think we'll get, especially with him in the middle school hall, I think we'll get a large number of middle school kids out, and that's where we'll build for the future. So it's exciting. But you guys have growth over on your side of the river too, with Coach Rob putting together the Bull Sharks. Are you involved with that? And what else going on over there?
As much as I can be. Me and Rob, this has been Rob's brainchild since he got here. He's got a young son and daughter who have always been around the sport, and he's always wanted to build a youth. And it's been about 2 to 3 years in the growth. A few years ago, we tried to charter a Trident Wrestling Club and just really couldn't get it off the ground. And Coach Mitch just was like, I want it. I'll take it. Let's do it. And so he's kind of run with the Beaufort Bull Sharks, trying to stay in the theme. But I got to go to the first practice. I told him I'd be there just to kind of get him off the ground. And then we send some of the high school kids, some of our Sam DeGroat and Elmer Linares, 2 of our alumni, are going to help him over there. But he's got
That's what Elmer was talking about. I asked him if he was coaching anywhere, and he said
he's going to be with, I think, Robert Smalls. I know the rules kind of change, and But he's going to definitely do bull sharks. And I mean, they've got about 20 young kids. I think the oldest kid that I saw was maybe 10. So he's really trying to hit that really young market because he knows that most of the older kids are heading out to Reverence.
Right.
So he's like, if I can get the really young kids, and then we can kind of build from there. And he's got a great philosophy. He's kind of teaching like karate, where he wants to do like shirts. So it'll be like a white shirt to a blue shirt to a so the kids can start kind of growing, and that way you can start hosting, a beginner class and an expert class, kind of build there. So
I hope we're pairing kids up.
Oh yeah.
I heard I heard his motivational video on Facebook the other day. Got me pumped up a little bit. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it's a good listen.
He's big Jersey guy, so whenever he gets rolling, you gotta be careful because he might hit you with a Rocky quote, and then next thing you know, you're running through a brick wall for him.
Is he still coaching at Robert Smalls too?
He is. He actually stepped back from teaching. His wife has started a homeschool co-op, and he's helping out with that a lot. And so he's just coaching and teaching at the homeschool co-op. So he's
very good.
His best life. He loves it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I can't wait to see what he does with that program. We just need more, and across the board, every sport. We need more grassroots opportunity to get the fundamentals, because we've got that higher level thing now pretty much everywhere. You got the wrestling club, you got the volleyball clubs, you got the soccer clubs. Like once you get to that point, we can get you there. But we lose too many kids earlier because by the time they get to high school or even middle school, they just don't have the fundamental base that they need to be able to build upon it. We have to go back to square one. So it's a lot going on. Yeah, shout out, bravo, Charlie. Your kids are having a great year. But we talking wrestling and combat sports tonight on the grind.
I actually had a question for you, Coach Rutherford. So I see you wearing that Citadel hat. How's Gunner doing over there?
Yeah. Man, it was fun. Today was they used to do the Citadel Open. Now they kind of changed it up to the Battle of the Citadel. Gunner got his first action on the mat today. He hit college wrestling real quick in the first match. He's up at 197. So he won the state title at 75 last year. And so definitely put on some weight, but he had a tough one the first round. The second one, he came back and won 8-1 with riding time on there and looked good. And then his last match, he got the first takedown, which was awesome. Guy got an escape, guy got the takedown. So they're kind of going back and forth. And then Gunner tried to step over and just got caught. And but it was exciting. And he said he's loving it. I mean, the Citadel's a great program. It was cool. There's a bunch of kids from Lowco kind of area. Bishop England had a kid wrestling there. A couple kids from like the Fort Dorchester, Somerville area.
I was looking at their roster. A lot of South Carolina kids on their roster.
Yeah. Coach LeBlanc over there is awesome. He's big on that homegrown roots. You like the little Gipper. We're learning how to do some nice graphics. So, and I just got a text today. Drayshawn Brown, he graduated 2 years ago from Creek. Just got the nod that he'll be starting Wednesday for Newberry.
Nice.
In a D2 match. And this Friday, I don't know if you heard, they're doing the throwdown on the Yorktown.
Yeah, I've been seeing the advertisement for that.
Yeah, Citadel, Lander, Newberry, Army, Virginia, and Gardner-Webb are all wrestling on the top deck of the Yorktown. So it's going to be pretty awesome.
I think George Dixon's going to be there because he's been
so. I know
a lot.
Me and Hargraves are going up. We have a Cardinal sim. We're going to take the first ever practice Friday off ever since I've coached. But we're going to go up and get to watch, and hopefully Gunner gets in one match. He's back up to an All-American right now, the Citadel's All-American kid. So
wow.
He said it's been pretty awesome. So
yeah, very good. You also had some news recently, Rutherford, named to coach the North-South All-Star Classic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. Actually, Coach Powell is also nominated. Nice. He's not a big social media person, so So yeah, it's awesome. It's pretty cool.
That is awesome, and congratulations to you. That's a huge honor.
I'm pumped, and I know it's a lot of work because you got to pick the team and stuff. But what's cool about it is that it's a board of coaches that pick it. So it's all our peers that kind of vote in on it. And,
Right.
There's criteria you have to hit, like I think it's 5 years as a coach and all these other things. So even like being able to do it is awesome, let alone getting to coach in it. It's in end of February, early March. It's the week after state. So that's always the tough part too, is you get these kids that are coming right off the state. And now they're like, hey, we got one more tournament for you. Give me one more week. So, but it's pretty cool. It's up in North Myrtle Beach. And
cool event. And always cool when you get to take a kid up there too, right? What's your senior class look like? You think you'll have a rep on there?
We could have a couple. The hard part is you got to be a qualifier the year before. So the only one that could technically be eligible is if they did girls this year, but I haven't heard anything about girls yet. We're going to be young this year, but we're going to be scrappy, so that's exciting. But it's tough. Last year we graduated 4 guys that all placed state, and so we're young.
Tough,
we're young this year, but it'll be good. We had a couple of the young kids came up to watch Gunner wrestle today, so they're just as excited as we are. So,
I seen a lot of big changes in 4A. You guys are 3A?
We're still 3A. Yeah, we stayed. It's small this year, so we only have 26 schools that have wrestling in 3A.
Oh, wow.
So it is, and with the new changes, if the vote goes through, which I'm pretty sure it did, I haven't looked, it'll be top 8 from lower state and top 8 from upper state. So now our tournaments go from an 8-man bracket to 16.
16. Yeah, I seen that too. And
pretty deep state tournament. I like it though.
I do too. I think it's going to make it more competitive, and they're talking, I think, 12 mats at Florence Convention Center, and
that's how we run it in Michigan. 16-man brackets.
Florence is a good venue for it. I think it's better than Anderson, certainly.
Are they going
Anderson's tough.
I didn't see this, but are they going to switch it to 8 all-state placers?
They haven't said officially. Someone had posted that they were looking maybe 6 for all-state.
I like so.
8 out to the top 6, but then you got to have that extra match. And so they'll have to look at numbers and stuff like that. I would like it if you're going to a 16-man bracket, at least top 6 would be all state, I would think.
I would think so.
I would hope. It's still cool if they had top 4 still works, but I think if you're going to make the tournament bigger and you want to make it more value, if you get a kid that's all state as a sophomore or junior, then obviously they're going to want to jump back into it next year a little bit more if you give. And it's not giving away you're not giving an extra medal or anything. You're just, hey, you're top, you're all state. That way they get another little accolade that they can put on their
Absolutely, because most states are already, doing top 8. So
I'd be good with it. As the sport continues to grow, you've got to expand the recognition as well, be representative. So, 4A is going to be interesting.
That shifting is crazy because, May River is the only one. And I don't know if this is, maybe you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but out of the top 8, May River is the only one staying.
Yeah. So, and 3A kind of did the same thing. It was
that's just
the top 4 in the state. I think top 3, like 3, or I think only 3 stayed of the top 8. Like, it's crazy for 3A. And then 4A, like, I think May River was the only one that made it to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8 that stayed. Like Lucy Beckham moved up, and that's the other thing too. When you go up to 5A, now they have Big 5, Small 5, and so Lucy Beckham's in the Small 5, but so is Eastside. And so that's pretty exciting for Coach Powell because I don't care who you are. If you see you got Eastside,
go ahead and Sharpie in Eastside right there.
How do we get away from Eastside?
We got away from them. They're in 5A now. We don't have to fool with them no more. But, I don't know what anybody looks like right now. It's hard to say. We've all heard the same thing that Houston Rudisill, or state champ as a freshman last year, was not going to wrestle this season. We all know that, tonight somebody might get cold feet and start thinking about it. You never know. At some point, he may have a change of heart. But that's
I hope.
as recently as last night, I was told again that he was not wrestling this season, which is wild to me. But it's it's his deal. Maybe he just needs to step away from it for a minute. When you make something your entire life, you can kind of get lost in it sometimes, and you just need a little space from it. So wish him well, whatever he's doing, but that definitely would change the dynamic for that May River team, because that was a locked in 6 every night, and you could bump him where you needed to bump him, and he was still going to get you the points you needed. So that
big shoes to
be
fill.
different. But Powell should have a ton of depth on that team. I mean, they got a bunch of guys coming back. They got a bunch of guys coming up from middle school, and they know what they're doing over there. So I expect they'll still be right there in the mix in 4A regardless.
Couple of my guys over there.
Yeah.
Well, you got to look too. I mean, Mike Newton now back at second year at Hilton Head, and his pedigree is there, and
their middle school team was stacked last year.
Yeah, well, and Nutter's doing crazy good over at Bluffton, and Bishop England. You always got to watch out for Bishop England. So that region itself is scary, let alone thinking what 4A looks like outside of the region.
Right.
So
that region's going to be great. Those duels are going to be really, really competitive, I think.
Yeah, and especially like you said, Coach Powell, it doesn't matter. He could have 0 kids show up tomorrow, and he still is going to have a competitive team. I mean, he's a well-coached team over there, and so I just Hilton Head and May River have been battling ever since they got built. So I feel like it's coming to a head this year too. So
yeah, and Bluffton is definitely back in the mix now. They were kind of dormant for a while, but they are definitely a factor again. And they got a bunch of dudes back too. Gabe Fulton's back. They did lose Big Brad, right? So that was a big loss. But they got a lot of dudes in that lineup, and girls. They got a lot of girls wrestling over at Bluffton.
Well, Jada's got a chance to be a 4-time.
Jada, yeah.
I mean, shoot, I think she beat most guys on my team. So,
she might crack the boys lineup this year.
Yeah, well, and that's the scary part too now with the girls. If they sanction that girls, then she can't jump in the guys lineup. And it's kind of one of those things where you got to be careful on that, because once girls start, they got to pull them out. So I don't know.
Yeah, it becomes hard to find them matches for some of them.
Correct.
Especially
that's for us. When you're looking for like senior night and stuff, and you got a girl in the lineup, you got to find a team that has another girl senior. We had that last year. We wrestled John Paul too, and they don't have girls on the team. So I had a senior girl that didn't get a match on senior night. So that makes it tough too. You kind of have to call around and figure out who's got girls, and so
and Georgia won't let them.
They're separate teams completely. Right? So it's sad. I have a buddy who's at Wayne County, and he said he's coming up to wrestle us, and he goes, "Hey, if you put a girl in the lineup, I have to forfeit. So let's not." Yeah. And so I get it. I mean, that's tough,
Yeah.
So
that's crazy to me. If you put a girl in the lineup, they have to forfeit.
Yeah.
That's wild,
because they're completely sanctioned. So it's completely it's 2 different sports. So there's a girl in our lineup. So if you want to be that kind of coach, you just get a whole girls team and say, "Oh, sorry, we win." But
somebody did that last year, didn't they?
Yeah, to him.
To him? Oh no!
Someone in our area brought 3 girls, scheduled a match, and sent them out against him.
Oh man!
So So he's a buddy of mine. The Wayne County coach was my drill partner in high school. Odarius is the name, and he called me up and he goes, "I know you want to wrestle me, but if you put a girl out, we're not friends anymore." I said, "Well, if it's a win-loss situation, I'll lose a friend on a win, I guess."
Oh man!
Oh Lord, that's funny. So your region. What's your region look like? OW's new. North Charleston usually doesn't have a whole lot. Hanahan's usually pretty solid, and then
that's it.
That's all you got.
Yeah, Oceanside doesn't have a team. So right now, like you said, Orangeburg Wilkinson had 6 last year show up, and that was it for lower states. So I don't know. They got a new coach this year. He's a young guy. I've talked to him a couple times. He's hoping to fill 10 weight classes, is what he said.
That's a basketball school, man. Yeah,
well, and it's a football school, and so it's hard when, and I'm sure you guys see this too. You get a lot of the football players say, "Yeah, I'm coming. Mm-hmm. But with football season being an extra 2 weeks, they may get too tired. They may not. And if they go in the playoffs at all, then
They're banged
it's
up.
week. And
Yeah.
so it's,
It's hard to rely on them.
Yeah, and North Charleston's hard because some years, I mean, when I first got here, they had 10 to 15, and then we've had times where they showed up with 3 people.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of – it's a hit or a miss. They've got a young coach. I believe he's a Marine over there who is doing the right things. It's just he's not in the building, so it's hard to get – you've dealt with that before. If you're not in the building.
I said earlier, it's hard to get kids to buy in. I mean, it's hard. It is.
Well, especially if they don't see you every day.
Exactly.
That's one of the biggest things.
And this is exactly why I knew I needed to start teaching if I was going to continue coaching wrestling, because just not being in the building every day is difficult enough, but just being able to recruit, it's going to change the game.
Well, and build relationships so that the recruiting is more effective. Because there are kids that I say all the time, hey, you want to try wrestling? And they're like, no. But when it's a kid that knows me, that I have a relationship with, and I'm like, hey, man, you should really try wrestling. They're like, really? Yeah. Okay, yeah, maybe I should. So it matters if they have a little bit of your trust, and you tell them, hey, I think you could be good at it. Then that goes a little further. And being in the building is critical to that. And then just being eyes, an extra set of eyes in the building who are reminding them of what's at stake if they step out of line, and what they can be if they stay on track, and all those things. It really matters. So there's a reason why ADs try to hire coaches who are in the building, because it is so important. It's so valuable, and you could be the best coach of your sport technically in the world, but if you can't get the kids' trust, you're not going to get them to buy in and follow you. So it's really important. But how do you kind of combat that, Rutherford? You really don't have much of a region schedule to speak of. So how do you get your guys ready for the end of the year?
So what we do it's a little, since Hanahan's a historically good team. Their coach won the state title, I think, in 2016. I called them up and I said, hey, if we do a dual schedule, we're giving up 3 dates for one match that might have 2 or 3 guys. So what we do is we do our region duels all in one night. Right. So we'll be hosting again this year, which will be exciting.
I love that.
Basically do
just knock it out.
One night, round robin, we wrestle everybody. And then so that does help. But really, we load up, and I tell the kids, I don't want to go undefeated into region, because that means I didn't push us hard enough. So pretty much all of December, I try to keep us away from dual tournaments, and we stay individual. And then once January hits, we are dual focused. Okay. We are 3 weeks in a row doing dual tournaments on the weekend, trying to get 4 to 5 matches, push them to the limit, see how they wrestle on that 5th match. So when playoffs do come around, we've got enough team momentum, hopefully, to roll us in. Yeah. But it is tough. I mean, when you get to certain teams and you get all excited, we had this happen last year. We went up to RB Stall, and another team just didn't show up. Yeah. And so we drove up to Charleston, and all of our guys got one match and went home. And that's tough when you got a 2-hour, hour-and-a-half bus ride, warm up, weigh in, wrestle for.
It's just not worth it. It's just not. Yeah. So, and then half those guys don't even get a match because they get a forfeit.
Correct. And when you get someone like a Gunner DeGroat, I mean, we were begging for matches, for him sometimes. Yeah. So we, love that kid, because if they didn't have a kid at 75, then guess what, Gunner, you're going 95 this match. I mean, and so that kind of makes it tough. It's exciting, but you also have to have those kids to have that mentality that win, lose, or draw, we're going to hit sprints in the back hallway. We're preparing for February, not for January. So, and like everyone says, once playoffs start, the record's 0-0. Yeah. And this year, I don't know if you guys have seen, but winning the region for individuals does not seed you for lower state. It's all off of your win percentage.
Really?
It's straight win percentage on how you get seeded. Now, 1A, 2A might switch theirs up, but from what we had last year, it was if you were a region champ, you didn't get seeded 1 through 4. It was solely based on
win percentage.
So for individuals, it was just straight. Like I had to send in all of our guys' records.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, duels are still the same.
I'm okay with that. I think generally, I mean, I don't know if win percentage is the right metric, but I'm a fan
it does
of the
come
old
to like head to head on some guys, but for duels, I mean, you guys are going to find out 1A and 2A. You guys do a seeding meeting, and so you guys might have a playoff match, and you guys might be driving to Spartanburg. So hopefully, y'all being the 12th man saves the state, and people get excited because I know sometimes that 1A to 2A jump is a huge jump. You've got some of those programs like Chesney that have 30, 40 kids on the team. And then you've got, y'all that are a first year program that y'all have 15, you might be excited. You never know what's going to show up,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I believe y'all are in the same region as Bridges, aren't you?
No, they're 2A.
Okay,
but
so you'll be separate.
Yeah, we're in with Bamberg. It will be the only other school in our region that has a program.
And they're pretty tough. They've historically been pretty strong.
They're very good. I mean, we figure that it's them and Abbeville probably are the favorites in 1A.
Abbeville was a strong team when I came up. So they were – it was Bamberg and Abbeville for lower state, I think, for 3 or 4 years in a row. So
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But no, Bridges is in that region now with Whale Branch and Edisto and Barnwell. Does Barnwell have a team?
I don't think so.
It should. They got tough country kids up there.
You would think, but then you got to find a coach.
True. So yeah, they're in that region now. But Bridges should be pretty tough this year. I mean, he's building something there for sure. They've got a bunch of good kids, and middle school was strong, so they'll have more coming.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it.
Got some tough kids in middle school.
Yeah, man. Should be a great wrestling season. When's your first match, first tournament?
First match, we've got a quad with John Paul II. I think it's us, John Paul II, and Beaufort High, December the 4th. And then we'll be at the Hilton Head for the
Lowco.
I don't know if you still call it the Lowco Invitational or if it's the
it was the Low Country Invitational last year. Low Country.
Need to confirm that.
Well, yeah, I was about to say,
get in there.
Does Hardyville get to make it to the Lowco Invitational? Because otherwise, you take the name with you.
I reached out to him when we first said we were starting a team, and he said yes, absolutely. So,
and that's a great. I mean, he's so smart doing JV on Friday.
Yeah.
It gets crazy when it's middle school girls and varsity all one day, but that's probably one of the most exciting tournaments when you got a mat for middle school, a mat for girls, and a mat for
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah,
that was amazing. It was amazing.
It was cool last year. It was ran really good.
Really well done.
It was a fun time.
Really well done. And just a great opportunity for everybody to get a bunch of matches early.
And
not have to travel to get them. It was really cool. Love to see it and looking forward to it this year. So yeah, we're close to getting into the wrestling. Coach Gearhart, we'll let you get back to your studies, and I'll see you tomorrow in the Ville, but we appreciate you hanging out, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on. It was good talking to y'all. And best of luck to you, Coach Rutherford.
Yeah, good luck this year. I'm sure we'll see each other quite a few times this year.
Yeah, I hope so. It'll be a good time.
No doubt about it. See you, buddy.
See y'all.
That's Coach Chase Gearhart from the Hardyville Hurricanes now.
That's so exciting, man. I know he's a kid in the candy shop right now. I mean, first day butterflies are there, but,
You should have seen me on his first day in the building. We rode together to professional development in Ridgeland, but
that's awesome.
I'm so happy to have my buddy in the building with me now.
Look, I tried to poach him last year when I thought you weren't going to be back in McCracken. I was like, we could probably find something over here at Creek for you. So I'm glad he got into the building, and he seems excited. So
yeah, I'm excited to have him. But that way I don't have to coach him because otherwise I was going to have to do it. If there ain't nobody to do it, me. But this is better for everybody. He's awesome. He's going to be great to build that program. But I did want to talk a little bit about the fights last night at the Foundry. I know you would have been there if you were in town. You missed this one. You're usually there.
Yeah.
But
of course,
reports?
Well, yeah. So I got to speak to a couple people were there. I got to watch a couple of the pay-per-viewed. I watched it.
Okay.
Got to see 2 kids from Beaufort High get in a little BJJ, it looked like. And then our Mr. Linares got his first MMA action. He was a little beat up today. I talked to him a little bit, but he's excited. He can't wait to get back in the ring. So,
yeah, I saw him last night after the fight, and he was a little frustrated. He felt like he won the fight. I didn't think he won the fight. He did control the fight when it was on the ground. He showed his wrestling skill, and his wrestling style suits itself to this. I mean, he likes to ride boots. He likes to control, and so he's getting there. He's going to have to fine tune his finishes and stuff so that he can get a finish when he gets in that top position, rather than relying on the judges to give him the win on grappling. But he's also got to learn to defend himself better standing up.
And I
think he's never boxed before, and so he's got some work to do there. But you can see where the potential's there for sure.
Yeah, I think that's. I've got a buddy up in upstate who was a wrestler that transitioned to MMA, and he said the biggest transition, the grappling's fine. That part, your muscle memory kicks in, but you're never really used to getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
And a lot of the wrestlers, we box and we slap and we play around as you grow up, but you really don't square up.
Okay.
And so that first couple times, the striking's a little off, and and MMA is so hard too. It's sometimes like, was it a good blow? Was it a grazed?
Right.
Did you hit a significant? And so, it's tough too when you're in that fight. You feel like you got beat up, so I must have won because I'm definitely really hurt. So hopefully the other guy's as hurt as I am. So hats off to Elmer for getting in the ring.
Yeah.
As a wrestling coach for years, I've always said, yeah, I think I could do it, but I don't really think I want to get punched in the face. So
no, and certainly not repeatedly.
Yeah,
because if they get you down and they start wailing on you with the hammer fists, yeah.
I grew up with one of 5 boys, and we fought a lot, but not like that. There was rules, and once you got hit a little bit and you started eyes water, you stopped, and there
was a stopping point.
Yeah.
This man. There was one man that I couldn't believe this man won his fight because it was crazy. Let me see if I can get it up here. I got Carlos Instagram up here because he's got all kinds of stuff from last night. This guy was a dude. He's holding his baby.
Oh, I saw that. That's so
he was
cool.
An animal.
Yeah.
I was wishing we got to see him fight a little bit longer because his fight went a little bit too quick. But this one right here, this man from Cool Hands Boxing was getting destroyed, and then he caught his opponent with a left hook right to the temple and put him down.
Yeah, I saw you guys doing the interview with him. He didn't even wipe his nose, which I was like,
right?
That's a real fighter. He's
ripping off his nose.
Full sweat, just living it.
It was an unreal fight. This dude was an animal too.
Oh, yeah.
Goldinger. Oh man, this was his MMA debut. He's a Muay Thai guy, but he was impressive in his MMA debut. Let's see. Oh, and then there's Trigg.
Yeah,
Trigg Tennant made him famous right here on the grind. He put that dude down and out quick, and the crowd loved it.
I'm still hoping that Canvas boy will jump on a high school mat here soon and coach, but
right. Yeah, that dude. Yeah. And that guy was an animal. Boog Lentz. He was out of the ice box.
Okay.
He destroyed Will Valentin, who is one of the better fighters out of the Foundry. And man, he was not ready for what Boog brought last night. So, some good fights last night. Enjoyed it. It's always a good time. As I've said before, shout out to anybody who's putting in the effort to go above and beyond and do something, like put something on for people to do. Like, it is hard. It is hard work. It is thankless. And Abe does a really good job of putting together a team that can run the thing while he's trying to coach his athletes. I think that's the most underrated part of it. Is that when fight night comes, he can't be doing everything. He's got to be focused. And he's got a great team of people who run the show and got a good plan over there.
Yeah, I try to get Abe to do an old man folk style wrestling. I told him, I said, you set it up, I might be interested. I tried to talk Hagen. I said, me and Hagen will take the heavyweight battle against each other and raise some money for charity. And he goes, I could do it again. And I was like, well, hold on, wait. Let me rethink this before I sign off on this, I
don't know you were going to be in the bracket.
I laugh about it, and then I'm like, yeah, I could do it. And then I wake up and my knees pop, my head hurts. And I'm like, well,
bro,
why did I sign up for that,
Gerhard will do it.
I mean, rep the age. Yeah, I knew Gerhard would be a good thing. We got to find him the opponent.
Kaminsky will do it. Coop will do it.
That'd be, Kaminsky's a former Creek wrestler,
Yeah, he could get in there.
So
Bowler might do it. Bowler not quite as old as some of us.
Bowler did it. I mean, he just played in a alumni baseball game.
Yeah,
hit a home run. So
baseball and wrestling are two entirely different sports.
Well, Bowler did. He wrestled in the folk style nationals 2 years ago.
Really?
So, yeah, he went up with Estrada back then. They went and did that. I think Bowler took top 3. But I think Bowler's got a Bowler number 3 on the way. So Papa Bowler might be retiring from his amateur days now.
He's back on his baseball grind right now. He's
he was coaching with Prime, which was cool.
Yeah,
I talked to him. So,
but no, I don't think I could wrestle competitively. I tried to go like one practice last year with Kuntz, and I think I might have torn my rotator cuff. I beat him for like 30 seconds, but I might have torn my rotator cuff.
My wife laughs at me. About once a year, I do the same thing where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna wrestle all day, and I'll wrestle most of the practice. And the plus on a coach is you don't have to do the conditioning, and I can jump in where I want. I came home that day, and I'm pretty sure I iced everything. I get to the house, and she's like, what happened to you? I was like, I wrestled. She's like, did you win? I was like, I don't remember. I don't really remember driving home.
I held my own until I couldn't breathe anymore.
Well, when you get someone like Gunner's like, Coach, you want to wrestle? You want to wrestle me, Gunner? No, I'll get you someone to wrestle. Hold on,
No thanks.
Yeah.
Let me go work with a 119 pounder.
Yeah. my arms are already tired looking at Gunner, so
I'm good. I can't really do it anymore. I couldn't even wrestle with the middle schoolers last year, but I tried to play volleyball the other day, students versus staff. Turns out I don't have an off switch. I dive on the floor every opportunity I get. I was hurting a little bit. It was probably not graceful looking, but I was giving full effort. I assure you that.
You forget, a few years ago we did a indoor flag football, teachers versus students, and next thing you know, I'm diving, going through a door, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Look, man, there's a reason why coaches can't abide kids who aren't competitive enough, and it's because you don't become a coach unless you've got that competitive streak in you, and it doesn't ever die. It never dies.
Oh, well, they try to always get me and Hargraves to do the staff-student basketball game, and Hargraves always tells a story about how he told his son, if you pick up the basketball, you're grounded, because he's always been a wrestling guy. So whenever we play, we just get in the paint and just foul everybody.
5 fouls to give.
Look, the fouls don't get called on the teachers. So if you hit the lane, you are going to get fouled. I'm 100%. I only shoot layups. So I was pretty big last time. I had 2 full layups that I made.
Lame beer.
Yeah, you just that's all I got. Straight out.
Layups and lay people out in the paint. That's all.
Especially when the guys go up, I'll catch them and I'll just run them through.
I took one on 1990s basketball, baby.
Put on the sweatband still, rocking the Converse All Stars,
There you go. But fights were good last night, man, and cool to see. Elmer, Antonio had a rough debut. He told me he only had like 1 day of training, which is crazy. I don't know why he got on the card with 1 day of training in jiu-jitsu, but he got barred up and submitted. But Joseph Griffin was really impressive. His fight was technically a draw on the card, but man, I don't see how. I had him winning all 3 rounds. The first one was kind of pretty even, but the last 2 rounds I thought he won clearly. And I was really impressed with him. He was tough.
That's what I got videos of him. Obviously, as a wrestler in a dual sport, you can definitely tell he's got that scrap in him. And he might be one of those kids that can make the jump. this might be something that he might say, hey, this is the next progression, because if I'm not going to college for wrestling, then maybe I hit the circle,
It was a pretty impressive debut for as little training as he has had. Like I think there's something there. So he took some shots and was unfazed. There's a lot to be said for that, and he was tough. He was pretty well rounded. I was impressed. So fights were fun though, man. If you haven't been to Beaufort Brawl,
so cool.
You got to go check it out. They really. I guess the biggest thing I would say about it is it doesn't feel like a small local promotion.
Correct.
They really do it up big. Dr. Bob LaFavi doing the ring announcing.
He's awesome.
The ring is legit. The refs all look the part.
Oh yeah.
It's a cool deal. It's a cool deal, and it gave me a new respect for it, seeing it in person and talking with the guys after. And seeing the respect they show each other, like it really is a dual endeavor. Like everybody is invested in it, and it's a lot like wrestling. I guess that's what I'd say the most is it's only a baby step away from wrestling.
Yeah.
It's for wrestlers who are willing to be punched in the face and want to punch back. And there's a lot of those. There's a lot of kids who tell me they'd love to wrestle, but they don't think they could keep their cool. They think they'd swing on somebody.
Oh yeah. Well, I got a place for you too.
Yeah. Well, if you can learn how to chill that out, we can teach you how to wrestle, and then you can go use that in a place where you can swing on them.
Well, and you look at some of the big fighters. I mean, Nate Diaz was in the national finals. Bubba Jenkins, Ed Ruth, those kind of guys have made that jump over and are doing well. Yeah.
Bo Nickel.
Who's the other one I like? Bryce Meredith has been in the ring. He was from Wyoming. Bo Nickel, I hope he fights more because he's fun to watch.
He's an animal, dude.
Yeah,
he was so fun to watch wrestle, but he could be even more fun to watch in the cage because he's a psycho. He's got some psycho in him. I'm not psycho enough to get in that cage, but it's fun to watch the people who are.
Yeah. I'll root you on. I told Elmer, I said, I don't know how much coaching I could even help you with other than, move your face to the left, It's one of those where the first time you get hit in the face, I don't know how those guys refocus.
Me neither. And you could see Elmer kind of stunned by that the first couple of times, but his instinct was to shoot. When he got hit in the face, his instinct was double leg, blast double, and try to get him on the ground where I can recover and get my senses, which I think is the right instinct for a guy who's trained in wrestling first. Just dive in there and try to get him on the ground and see if you can get on top and catch your breath and get your eyes straight. But he definitely looked a little stunned a couple of times, like, ooh, can't do that in wrestling.
He's got a pretty good shiner this morning.
I believe it.
Because I asked him where he was at instead of Gunner's thing, and he goes, I don't really want to go outside right now. I don't think you do.
Yeah, he got smoked a few times, definitely. He was again, he's got to learn to better defend himself on his feet because he wants to be in a wrestling stance.
Oh yeah. But he said he'll be back. He enjoyed it. Obviously there's a lot to grow from it. He said, he didn't feel like he was that far off. So, he obviously
I didn't think he was that far off. I agree.
Striking is tough, but I think he'll get it.
Just a little work on the striking. I think he can get there. And the finishing, because he's gonna get people on the ground.
Yeah.
So if he can get really good with just a couple of finishes where he can submit people, then he'll be able to win some fights.
Yeah, I told him you can't hit a Peterson in MMA, so he's gonna have to do a new move on bottom there. So
he did though.
I heard. I didn't get to see it. Someone sent me a clip and said it still works. So
right off.
If you can turn that Peterson into a submission, I'm gonna lose my mind. So
yeah. Well, and he's also got to be careful diving into a guillotine. If he isn't careful, because that one dude that I showed you that killed the guy with the left hook, he about dove into a guillotine a bunch of times.
I mean, that's the one thing about MMA too. There's great neutralizers real quick. And like you said, you could be getting destroyed and Again, like wrestling, you could be down 8-0 and someone throws a hip toss, the middle school wonder of the world. You throw that head and arm and
hell yeah.
It's all over.
Never out of it. And that's something we didn't talk about at the top of the show when we had Gerhard in here, but that hip toss is now worth even more points. And no lead is safe late in the match these days.
Well, and I had we were up at the Citadel, like I said, the Battle of Citadel today, and it was cool because they're using the same rules as us. Mm-hmm. And it's not as much fun yelling 3 than it was 2.
Yeah, it's weird. It's gonna be weird.
But it is a lot more fun to watch you be up by 3 than up by 2. So that was kind of cool. And they're going to college out of bounds. So if you got a point in, you're good. And the near fall was huge because me and Gunner talked about these. Like if they would have had 3-point takedown and 4-point near fall, I don't know if I would have left the first period with a lot of matches. Because you take him down, you turn him, then you cut him. Now you're up 7-1 instead of 5-1. That's a game changer.
You can go 14-1 just like that.
Yeah, and so especially if you got a kid that's good with maybe some tilts or like you said, a head and arm. Now it's 7 points instead of 5.
Right.
And you want to mentally beat somebody.
7. You can be down 7, and if you got 5 seconds, you still got a chance.
Yeah, and that's
throw.
Well, and it mentally that breaks you. Being down 5 points, you're thinking, but now you're down 7. You're like, I got to go big already. You're in the first period, and you think you've got to go throw it all. And so I hope it's going to speed it up a little bit because we both know that those tournaments can get long-winded by round 4 or 5. So hopefully that will help a little bit, but we'll see.
Yeah, man. Should be fun. Well, hey, I think we did enough damage tonight, Coach. Appreciate you coming on to help us kick off new season of the Lowco Grind. Enjoyed having Coach Gerhard. We'll get more friends in here as the season goes on, but it starts tomorrow. You guys get to hit the mats tomorrow. I think McCracken, we're waiting until Wednesday because we got the election day on Tuesday, so we'll have a little discontinuance there, but so we'll wait till Wednesday to get
rolling. I can't wait. I'm pretty sure I would have started today if they would have let me, so.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So it's wrestling season, boys. So we'll be back regularly with the Lowco Grind. We'll definitely get back on here sometime, probably in a couple of weeks, and set the stage a little bit more. I think we got state rankings should be coming out this week, so that'll give us something to talk about. We'll get some guests in here and talk wrestling in the Lowco as well as other combat sports. So thanks to everybody who joined us tonight. Thanks to all of our sponsors, especially Reverence Wrestling Club, presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind and of the official wrestling sponsor of Lowco Sports. So thanks, everybody, for a great show. For Coach Rutherford, I'm Justin Jarrett. Till next time, go Lowco.
Let's do it.